It's not clear who is settled in as Nussmeier's backup as it stands right now. It could be Swan, it could be Collins. We want you talking to people and these great fans here at Tiger Stadium. We're getting you closer to kickoff here for this spring game after this. They're celebrating year number 100 of this great venue. It is undergoing some renovations this afternoon and into the spring, and inching closer to the start of the actual scrimmage portion of this LSU spring contest. And we have seen the special teams kind of go through their deal with the kickoff specialists and also punters on the field. And coming up shortly, the scrimmage portion gets underway. Dusty Dvorak, you're roaming around. What are you seeing out there, and who's in the house today?
Well, I'm hanging out here with the new defensive coordinator, Blake Baker. Coach, you got to be excited to be back in LSU. What do you want to see here today in the spring game?
I want to see them fly around. I want to see their effort. I want to see the passion. I want to see the physical and mental toughness, really, that we've been preaching all spring come to fruition today.
If you're just moderately better on defense and the offense doesn't take a huge step back, this roster, I think to both of us, and correct me where I'm wrong, feels like a playoff roster. Like they have the ability to get there with 12 teams coming in to the college football playoff this year. This fall, excitement level in college football at an all-time high, with more invited to the dance as pertains to college football's postseason. All right, some work underway. Garrett Nussmeier on the field. He is not live today, Dusty, as we mentioned that Colin Hurley, the freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, will be. And we don't think we're going to see a ton of number 13 with a red jersey, but he's on the field now and a chance to showcase his improvement going back to last season. And Josh Williams on the field as the running back.
A little tempo here early, Roy. They're going fast.
Williams gives you some good size, some good bursts, along with Caleb Jackson, who we should see a bunch this afternoon as well, Dusty.
You know, Josh Williams, he really just does everything well. An all-around back, catches it well, runs with power behind his pads, and outstanding in pass protection. And one of the leaders of this offense. You can tell he's well-built, got good vision, and they expect this rushing attack from the running back room to really take a big step in the right direction. You're going to see more gap scheme stuff compared to zone scheme stuff throughout the day. A big point of emphasis here this spring. And 100%, 86 is going to be a feature player in this offense coming up this fall.
36 catches a season ago. The inside give straight ahead. And the running backs increasing their total carries. When you lose a quarterback that touched it on the ground 125 plus times, you've got to find a way to generate that rushing game, and it's going to come from the backfield. So it'll be a different way to go about their business when it comes to gaining yards on the ground this fall, obviously.
Yeah, we've seen Josh Williams, and you get a look at 28, Caleb Jackson. Big, fast, strong. All the attributes you look for, and he is more of that downhill runner. Excellent for what they're trying to do with some of this gap scheme stuff. Get his shoulder square and get him involved in this rushing attack.
We will see Garrett Nussmeier under center a little bit more this fall. And the quick toss to the perimeter. You're having to replace Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., and there is Aaron Anderson, the sophomore from New Orleans. Neighbors expected to be one of the first receivers off the board in the NFL draft. Nussmeier going to the end zone and out of bounds, and looking for Chris Hilton Jr.
When you can extend drives and keep it going, you're going to give yourself a great opportunity to have success.
Ricky Collins steps on the field for the first time, and the inside give nets a couple of yards over the 25-yard line. Now Collins, redshirt freshman from Baton Rouge, and we talked to Joe Sloan about him and his progress this spring yesterday. He said he's one of our most improved guys on offense, Dusty. 6'2", 205-pounder from Woodlawn High School.
Yeah, and you know, it started in 7-on-7, Joe Sloan told us. They saw improvement about day 4 or 5, and that spilled over into 11-on-11. He knows the system very well, and he has grown leaps and bounds. Good on him, making the most of this spring.
Shelton Sampson Jr., also a redshirt freshman from right here in BR. Offense working, and a quick toss along the far side and staying in bounds. A nifty reception is Taylor. Or it was Pimpton, actually, and Kamorian Pimpton picks up 13 yards. And he's one of those guys, Dusty, that is very difficult to miss at 6'6", 242 pounds, a viable option on that second team at tight end.
Yeah, Roy, they've liked what he's done here this spring. Great size, great catch radius. You like to see that tackle made out there on the perimeter. I like the pass rush I saw. He's got an outstanding frame and was banged up last year, but he could be one of the elite pass rushers for them if he continues to develop as a pass rusher. But nice job on that previous play for him. Uber competitive, not going to back down from anybody, and just a lot of movement. Sage Ryan moving to safety where he's more natural. It's been a really good, productive spring from that regard. Nice run here off the right side by Josh Williams as we get our first Tiger touchdown, Mr. Philpott.
The jump cut worked to perfection for a gain of 14 and a touchdown.
Nice piece of running off the right side. Had a great angle here standing behind the coaches at about midfield. Nice hole opens up, and the vision downhill, and you mentioned the jump cut when you can make people miss in the hole. Nice job up front by the offensive line and the running back, making the initial defender miss as he finds his way into the end zone.
LSU offensive backfield locked and loaded for this coming fall. And the front pylon, and Kyron Lacey, the intended receiver. That was the first name that was mentioned by BK, with Woodland in coverage, your guy.
There he is, P.J. Woodland, man-to-man coverage on the outside, and Kyron Lacey has been outstanding. And man, that was a really good play. You know, didn't make contact with the body, hand in position. Freshman getting it done here early.
P.J. Woodland, remember the ESPN 300, and perhaps a bit underrated with what we've heard. Straight ahead in a short pickup. P.J. Woodland is a name to remember. The freshman from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Oak Grove High School, has been a big-time standout performer this spring. 5 picks, including 2 pick sixes as a senior in high school. And look, I mean, there's going to be openings based off what happened last year. And then moving around Sage Ryan a little bit has created some additional spots for this LSU secondary.
Big personnel, 12 personnel, multiple tight ends here. Something Brian Kelly loves going back to his days at Notre Dame.
Caleb Jackson off right tackle. Beautiful day in Baton Rouge, just about set for the start officially of this scrimmage. And still continue to work the offensive script. Nussmeier under center. You'll see a little bit more of this coming fall, as well as the naked bootleg action. Incomplete, trying to spot his running back out of the backfield.
Hey, Roy, that was Savion Jones doing a good job getting up the field, creating that pressure on the boot. And Savion Jones, his frame, guys, 6'6", 280 pounds. And Taco Blake Baker reminds him of Darius Robinson, who just took his game to another level last year at Missouri. Potential first-round pick in the upcoming draft. But from a frame standpoint, going to play that filled in this defense. I think he's got a chance for a lot of growth this season.
Time for Nussmeier. Surveys and fires back of the end zone. And it was out of bounds and incomplete. Looking for Chris Hilton Jr. Dusty, you like the throw? You like the thought? Hilton's got to do the toe tap in the back end for the official beginning of this scrimmage for LSU's 2024 spring game. Dusty Dvorak, Roy Philpott. Sun is shining, 82 degrees and barely a breeze as we get set, Dusty, and ready to roll today.
Let's get after it. Barely a breeze is right. Plenty of sunshine, no clouds. It really is a beautiful day, especially if you got a pool after the game. Boy.
Brian Kelly, year number 3 starts now. Nussmeier, Josh Williams in the backfield on first down. Four-three look from Blake Baker's defense. Nussmeier to the air and fires a strike. It is caught by Aaron Anderson. Probably more athletic than most would give him credit for, but given his predecessor, you understand the hesitant comparisons. Josh Williams, another nice cut, barrels his way across towards midfield.
A good contact balance there by Josh Williams. You see the initial contact, lowers the shoulder, able to avoid being tackled.
Gain to 13 yards from the 50. Taylor goes in motion. Time for Nussmeier. Wants to own load one deep. And incomplete. Chris Hilton Jr. deep down the field.
He's the speedster, Roy. You know, Chris Hilton Jr. can absolutely fly. Got elite speed, one of the faster wide receivers that they've had here at LSU in the last several years per the head coach, Brian Kelly. He's already worked his way into that number 2 option. Good coverage down the field there by Stamps.
Empty backfield. They back him up 5 after a penalty. Time for Nussmeier. That's a strike to Taylor, and Taylor, the 10-yard gain to the 45. 4-3 look again, and here's Nussmeier. He'll step up. Remember, not live. Heave one deep as a man wide open for the touchdown. And a 45-yard scoring strike to the transfer from Mississippi State, Xavier Thomas.
Oh, we got a little celebration here in the end zone. Don't know exactly what's going on, but
a little duck, duck, goose.
That's a busted coverage, man. It's a good find by Nussmeier. Climbs in the pocket, steps into it. But nobody identifies Xavier Thomas as he just runs a vertical go route.
Now the offense grabs a quick 6-0 lead. Maybe 90 seconds in. Nussmeier 3 for 4 on that drive. Stepping firmly into the pocket, delivering the touchdown strike. And now Ricky Collins steps in, the redshirt freshman from here in Baton Rouge. One of the more improved players in spring, according to OC Joe Sloan. John Emery joins him in the backfield, and Collins get a chance to showcase his abilities to be the backup to Garrett Nussmeier this year. And A.J. Swan, transfer from Vanderbilt, also seasoned veteran, expects to be in that mix. It's Malachi Lane that went in motion. And straight up the gut, through the A-gap and across the 30. Gain of 6 yards.
Number 30, Malachi Lane on the carry.
Some of these reps we're seeing right here, Roy, could be as important as any that are going on throughout the course of today.
Yeah, and that's on defense too. It's both sides of the football. Quick strike ahead of the 35. And a host of players involved. Kai Preen diving in. And he made the grab. A freshman from Bellarose, Louisiana. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Third down, as you touched on. Such a outstanding job by this LSU offense last year. I want to see this defense find a way to get off the field. Let's keep our eye on number 16 here.
Movement up front, and penalty markers fly in.
Had our eye on him, and it looks like he jumped. Good hard count there from Collins.
Our program now is much more focused on the finer details. He said to win an SEC championship, you can't be good, you can't be great, you have to be elite. Collins racing ahead.
Understanding what it takes day in, day out. And he says by far they're in a much better place now than where they've been the last couple of seasons. While good competitive play there on the defensive side of the football, as we had a little battle for the ball. This is perfect, man. This is like, I got the low end zone look. See these holes open up. Whit Weeks coming in, making a nice play.
Breeze is picked up, and that punt fielded near the 23. 7-0 after a punt of 34 yards. Xavier Thomas has had a chance to be a special return man, along with Chris Hilton Jr.
DJ Chester, he's that guy that's going to do it. Redshirt freshman, let's keep an eye on what he's able to do. He's going to be a key piece to see exactly the ceiling on this offensive line.
And for the fake to Williams, deep down the field, pass is called. Kyron Lacey made one defender miss, tumbling down inside the 35.
Great LSU wide receiver on tap.
Brian Kelly said he looks the part, acts the part. He's the leader in that room, taking the place of Neighbors and Thomas. Not easy to do. Also very explosive. Caught nearly 30 passes for almost 600 yards a year ago. Hand off to Williams along the left side. Stopped at the 31.
John Williams on the carry.
The pass breakup, a sack. They force a turnover. That is the enchilada of all of it. Aaron Anderson on the swing. And Harold Perkins comes in. First time we've seen him today. That's a loss at 2.
Speed kills Roy Philpott, and few linebackers have the speed of Harold Perkins.
He has put on weight, good weight this offseason, moving full-time inside. He can still get after the quarterback, and they expect him to do a ton of that this fall. But LSU's defense is going to make serious strides. It's going to be Perkins. They're down and 8 with Taylor on the move. Inside handoff, bobbing and weaving all the way to the end zone for the LSU touchdown. Caleb Jackson, the sophomore from Baton Rouge. And from 33 yards out, 28, reaching pay dirt.
After hitting the accelerator and getting downhill.
All right, the extra point counts as a point. The scoring system looks like this. For the offense, you know what a touchdown, an extra point, and a field goal get you. For the defense, yeah, it's normal in the INT or the return for a touchdown, but you also get 7 points for a turnover or 4th down stop. 5 points for that missed field goal. And it's 14-3, nearly halfway through our first quarter. A.J. Swan on the field, the transfer from Vanderbilt. Keeps one deep and incomplete.
And by the way, back to the scoring system. Sign me up for 5 points for defense on a missed field goal. Any way we can get defense and points today, let's make it happen, baby.
Spoken like a true defender at OU. The SEC legend, Dusty Dvorak. 14-3. Swan with all those starts at Vanderbilt. He's the most experienced quarterback on this roster after Jaden Daniels moves on to the NFL. On the right side and across the 40 goes Malachi Lane, a gain of 5. Brian Pimpton requiring some assistance off the field, a sophomore from Fort Worth, and appears to be in line to be the backup to Mason Taylor. They are stacked at tight end, and Pimpton at that size, 6'6", probably 250, Dusty. A big reason why.
Good catch radius, very high on him. And
3rd down and 4. Markway will move around. Saw him get a late touchdown a year ago at tight end. Swan picks up the 1st down and a good grab by C.J. Daniels. So, Dusty, he comes in from Liberty. A lot of experience at wide receiver. It's a gain 11. It'll move the chains. And he's a guy maybe under the radar in the SEC starting this fall.
Like his size, he's 6'2". That was a good route. The timing was there. Out of his break, ball's on him. Key on 3rd down. But he's had a very good spring. They want to see him show it here today. And for a guy who was 2nd team Conference USA, had 10 touchdowns a year ago, they think he can really add to this wide receiver corps.
Daniels wearing number 4, as in C.J. Daniels. Pocket collapses, and Swan rule him down in the backfield.
He's been a really good addition, a smart player, and already become a leader on the back end of this defense for Blake Baker.
Swing pass to the edge and a lot more. A 1st down. And it was Nicholas that was able to get to the perimeter, 19.
Defense loses contain, and you see the speed on the perimeter by Nicholas. Got to do a better job forcing that ball carrier back inside of your help.
Give him 26 yards on the play. Javen Nicholas from New Orleans. Straight ahead across the 20 and into the red zone. And that was Malachi Lane, the walk-on running back.
Malachi Lane with the carry. 2nd down.
After a gain of 5, it'll be 2nd down. Play action. Swan end zone, front pylon. Incomplete. Well, the coverage was there with 17. It was Jair Brown. We just told you a little bit about him.
Brown, I thought he had really good position inside, eyes up on the football right as it's coming there. Back official had a good look at it. No flag comes out. Really well played there by Brown in the end zone.
Transfer from Ohio State, 17 in purple. It was Sampson, the intended receiver. And if you're a fan of the Tigers, you like to see that secondary making strides early today. It was an issue a year ago, especially when it came to tackling. Quick strike to the 15. Defense has a chance to score some points by getting a 4th down stop. Well, you can cut the tension with a knife. On 4th and 2, Swan. Ebon, the running back. Swan to the air. Pass is caught right past the line to gain. That should be enough. And the offense will stay on the field. So again, Nicholas picks up 4 on 4th and 2. Dusty.
Nicholas been the feature guy here on this drive. Just a little bit too much cushion on the outside, on the perimeter. As you saw Ryan Yates working in coverage. Good find and move the sticks.
Movement up front. Swan to the end zone again and incomplete. Pass Lacey, or check that Daniels. And the coverage by Hughes. Second down and 10. Swan had 6 starts a season ago in Nashville. Handoff straight ahead. Inside the 10 and plowing down towards the 6. Good start for Garrett Nussmeier if you're just tuning in. We've seen Collins and A.J. Swan on the field at quarterback so far as well. Swan looks one way, goes another, fires it back, and incomplete. Blanket coverage by Kylan Jackson. And that pass never had a shot. It'll be 4th down.
Well, they went man-to-man coverage, and nice job by Jackson recovering. He was beat initially on the route. Gives Shelton Sampson Jr. credit. Did a nice job shaking at the line of scrimmage. A late find by A.J. Swan. Jackson able to recover and get the PBU to force the field goal attempt.
Damon Ramos on the field. 12 of 15 a year ago. This attempt halfway between the 23 and 24-yard effort for head coach Brian Kelly. Just inside that left hash. Officially 24. And on the way, they'll split the pipes. 17-3. Moments ago, how about this touchdown strike? Nussmeier to Kyron Lacey. Get used to that connection. 2 and white off to the races, and a big-time scoring strike again with the extra point. And Damian Ramos coming right now.
It's a miscommunication there, Roy. Looked like they're in cover 2. Easy toss for Nussmeier to his favorite target, Kyron Lacey. That's too easy. They've got to get that cleaned up and get it fixed.
The kick is up. The kick is good.
No, not at all. Kyron Lacey is going to be a problem for opposing defenses. Garrett Nussmeier, if you bust the coverage, he's going to make you pay. He's been a great addition at safety, but on that play in particular, just eyes in the wrong place and can't blow coverages like that and give up big touchdowns like we just saw in that play.
Nussmeier, Lacey, and a little swagger for number 13 today. You saw him on the sidelines, a little dance as he gets under the shade for a minute. Out of the shotgun for LSU. But both of those players, 2 guys that have waited for their time to be in the spotlight here, behind enormous playmakers and 3 first-round draft picks.
I mean, the amount of wide receivers that have been flowing through this program really over the last decade, but here in the last several years, just first-round picks everywhere.
Daniels, Neighbors, and Thomas expected to go probably in the top 20. And in the top 10 for Neighbors and Daniels. Only starter loss on the offensive line at center. Here's Caleb Jackson back on the field ahead to the 30. And a gain of 9. That just absolutely stoked about what's coming back in the trenches on offense. There goes Pimpton back on the field, so that's a good sign.
First team All-SEC last year as a second-year player at left tackle. And then at right tackle, it's a very similar situation with Emory Jones. And Brad Davis is a really good offensive line coach. He's got that group playing with a ton of confidence. And when you've got an offensive line that can protect, that can move people off the football, you're going to give yourself a great chance.
Alan Jackson got that sack, a couple of points for the defense on 2nd and 18. Collins going to be touch sack right there behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of a yard. Should be the final play of a fast-moving first quarter. A lot of points for both sides, if you will. Collins with time. Dumps it down.
Well, we've established a running game, and then it's kind of what we talked about, right? Try to find a really good running game, which I thought we did, and then, find Kyron Lacey. I mean, if we can balance those 2 things off. And again, we're still trying to find some things, defensively at the cornerback position. I think Harold Perkins showed, inside, addressing some of the things that we wanted in the box. And then obviously he can run.
What have you seen this spring from him that has really taken his game to another level?
I just think the confidence level, he had success and then consistency. Confidence and consistency. Those 2 things I think stand out the most in the spring, that every day he's been the same guy.
What do you want to see here the second quarter and the second half from your defense specifically?
Well, first of all, no big plays. We've given up too many big plays, whether it's a big play run or a big play pass. We have to take those out of who we are. I mean, there's great energy, but that doesn't matter if you're giving up big plays. Take away the big plays, and then from the offensive standpoint, we've probably got to get the number 2 quarterback battle. We got to get that with the first group.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
That is sideline reporter Dusty Dvorak. Master of everything when it comes to broadcasting. movement up front. A.J. Swan on the field.
You know, the B gap between the guard and the tackle, there was the rush lane opened up, and I thought he took nice advantage of that, throwing some good passes. Ricky Collins.
Redshirt freshman from Baton Rouge, number 200 in the ESPN 300. All these guys highly sought after, and Swan with the experience. For a guy with 12 starts coming in, Nussmeier has just one. We know that he's the clear-cut starter. It's just something to think about.
Good rush off the edge. Relaford, 19. You get a chance to take a look at that. Really quality job getting the offensive tackle's hands. It's great. Gabriel Relaford, that's a true freshman out of Shreveport, getting it done and getting a big sack to get his defense off the field. Great job by the freshman.
6'2", 268-pounder, number 19 is Relaford.
Good hands and dip there, Roy. Got to have quality hands. You got to be able to dip and turn that edge, put some stress on the offensive tackle.
You may be the first defensive player I've worked with, so I'm not used to all of this analysis, sound analysis, I might add, on that side of the ball. Normally it's high maintenance quarterbacks and running backs. Punt of 44 yards. 9 minutes and counting remaining here in our first half in Death Valley. 24-14. The defense can score points based off of sacks, a stop on 4th down, forcing a turnover or a missed field goal. Well, the hang-around team currently, and the inside give goes to Josh Williams back on the field. Just a gain of 2. 2nd and 8. The swing pass is there and corralled at the 40 and dropped after a gain of 3. Josh Williams was stopped by Harold Perkins, and there is what tells you the story of the LSU defense last season, Dustin.
Yeah, and just too many explosive plays, and you heard Coach Kelly touch on that from that first quarter. Too many bust breakdowns outside in that secondary. The tackling was very porous a season ago. They know they have to address defensive tackle, which is, the cupboard is bare right now at defensive tackle, which is kind of odd considering, how many great defensive tackles have come through LSU. Obviously, Mason Smith, Mekhi Wingo leave for the NFL, but that's an area of concern. And just limiting the explosive plays. Nice job by Harold Perkins Jr. tracking down Collins to get the stop and force 4th down. But, this is an area that clearly there's a lot of room for growth. I do like some of the changes that they've made personnel-wise, moving some pieces around. Sage Ryan, most notably Major Burns. I like Major Burns more up around the line of scrimmage. He's got some stiffness, and I think he's better suited coming off the edge as a blitzer, keeping him limited in how much space that he has. So, again, just one spring game. We've seen some busts. It has not been far from perfect here today, but I think they got the right guy at defensive coordinator. I like some of the moves that they've made here so far throughout this spring.
4th down and 7, a chance for points. LSU defense. And let's not fool ourselves as well. There's going to be help coming as soon as potentially next week when the transfer portal window opens back up. You better believe that this team and this program stands to be active in that portal, trying to plug some holes. And in this new era of college football, that is the exact opportunity you are afforded in 2024.
A little surprised we're seeing the offense go for it on 4th down here, Roy.
Rolling the dice. Hey, that's what we do in mid-April in college football.
Hey, this is Collins with the first offense right now against the first defense, so definitely noteworthy to watch how he performs on a play like this.
Taylor shifts, veteran tight end. Here comes pressure through the A-gap. It's picked up. Perkins was bottled up, and the pass is incomplete. So the defense notches a touchdown. The pass intended for Lacey. And a turnover on downs makes it 24-22 with Ashton Stamps in coverage.
Man-to-man coverage across the board. Stamps with a good job there. Not much of an opportunity to throw the football. Pass a little bit low there from Collins coming off his hand. What I really liked was watching 15 Sage Ryan pick up 86 Taylor, the tight end, man-to-man coverage right there with him. Really not many places for Collins to deliver the football. Good defense and nice job getting off the field on 4th down.
24-22. Clock moving, under 6 to go in our first half. With Collins back on the field, and Caleb Jackson will join him. Here are first-year play callers Joe Sloan and Blake Baker. Sloan on offense along with Cortez Hankton, co-offensive coordinator. Brian Kelly electing to elevate those two coaches after Mike Denbrock decided to go back to Notre Dame in December.
the 3 C's they talked about, right, between Hankton and Sloan, right?
Cohesion, chemistry, connectivity. Did I remember those correctly?
Come on. Cohesion, collaboration, communication, Roy Philpott.
I was close. Inside handoff goes to Jackson again.
He's got C words, I'll give you that.
I mean, the 3 C's applies in a lot of sports. I've heard it in basketball. To me, the bigger takeaway was energy, and I think on defense that's something they want more of, that on that side of the ball your coach and play caller has to bring the energy. That's not an issue for Blake Baker. 2nd and 5.
I did like talking with Joe Sloan, and obviously Mike Denbrock moves on to Notre Dame, more of a family choice there. But, I thought it was interesting talking with Sloan. They had a big impact last year as we talk about that cohesion, collaboration, communication. Those guys were already a part of the game plan all throughout the week and even on game day. So, the fact that was already taking place, they had such their imprints were all over the offense a season ago, and the way they stepped in during that bowl game and this offense did not miss a beat really impressed Brian Kelly and gave him the confidence to go ahead and promote from within. They've got the pockets to be able to go out and get whoever they want, but Brian Kelly felt confident. He had the right people right here on staff, and boy, you can tell it's coming to life here throughout the course of the spring game.
Kylan Jackson, the tackle of Caleb Jackson. Handoff straight ahead, and that's 1, maybe 2, and that's it on 1st down.
Caleb Jackson on the carry.
We've seen a lot of Caleb Jackson and Josh Williams so far. Expectation is Trey Holly could be back with the team in the fall. Malachi Lane, walk-on running back, has been a mainstay in this first half as well.
Kimpton in the boundary outside.
6'6" frame at 250 pounds, hard to miss. Collins quickly to the perimeter. It's one area Joe Sloan said we may not see a lot of today in how they want to attack the perimeter. Actually, in the fall, that'll be a gain of 10 to Lane.
Good to see a running back lining up outside. Clean catch with the hands, and good job getting upfield, moving the chains.
Our roaming sideline reporter, Dusty Dvorak, doing a fantastic job today. 1st down. Collins off the back foot, end zone, and incomplete. Chris Hilton got a fingertip on it, possibly. It'll be 2nd down.
2nd down.
Yet to see Colin Hurley, the freshman quarterback, who is going to be live today in the backfield. That'll be something interesting to watch. It's Ricky Collins still in the field here from Woodlawn High School here in BR. He's coached by former LSU quarterback Marcus Randall. Played a little baseball and basketball in high school as well. Straight ahead to the 10 goes Jackson. 2-yard gain.
Seeing more of that gap scheme that we heard Brian Kelly tell us about. Has been more of a zone offense. You're going to see with this offensive line more gap scheme, downhill running. They pull backside guard tackle. Pretty well defended, but that's going to be the bread and butter of this LSU offense. Just kind of shifting, moving, more zone blocking, more gap scheme blocking with pins and pulls, pullers, counter plays would be a big part of this LSU attack.
3rd down and 8. Collins looking end zone, will be flush. And he will be sacked. Touchdown near the 19. And we'll rule him officially down at the 20. A loss of 11.
It's your true freshman again. Gabriel Relaford, now he's working off the right side, able to get home, get some pressure. 2nd sack by him. We've seen the 2nd quarter. Big time quarter for the true freshman. Relaford, not somebody who was really brought up to us yesterday meeting with coaches, but you need as many quality edge rushers as possible, and talk about making the most of the opportunity out here in Tiger Stadium.
Aiden Corbello checks in for the field goal. Seen Ramos earlier today.
Come on, keep. And the kick is good.
And the kick is good from 38. Off the foot of Aiden Corbello, redshirt freshman from New Orleans. Didn't play last year, redshirted, and a walk-on this year. And halftime. has not missed. 7 for 7, nearly 200 yards, 2 scores. You saw those 2 touchdowns seconds ago. And the four-headed monster at quarterback, Nussmeier rather, the clear number 1. Swan and Collins fighting for number 2, and it will be Swan to begin our third quarter. We've yet to see Colin Hurley. Second half procedures, 2 7-minute quarters, a running clock for both. So it will be fast and furious as Swan fires low and incomplete.
Hey, noteworthy here, Roy, as we start this second half, that all the ones are still out there for the most part. Outside of quarterback, Nussmeier, he's giving it a day. They're still trying to work through this quarterback battle, but for the most part, you've got your starting offensive line. They have made a few things. Bo Bordelon is now playing right tackle. Want to get a look at him. And then 71, Tyree Adams working at left tackle. But other than that, from outside to skill, you still got a lot of your starters defensively. Blake Baker wants to get a better look. A lot of these spring games by the second half, most starters are out. Brian Kelly electing to keep a lot of these guys here on the field.
Josh Williams lost a yard. That'll be a couple of points for the defense, 27-24. Third down and 11. A big moment here potentially for A.J. Swan in this spring game. As Dusty told you about, still playing with a lot of the first teamers. Pimpton in motion. Kamorian, the massive target at tight end. And Swan delivers out of bounds. A little bit of love for Peyton Todd. We've seen him a couple of times. 6'5", 234-pound punter.
Peyton Todd back to punt.
4th and 11. Somebody's going to get risky here. Deep in their own territory. Todd was listed as ESPN's number 5 kicker coming out of high school. And punts it down into a breeze near the 44, just a punt of 32.
Nicholas, a favorite target that first half for Collins. Let's see if he goes back to him here.
David Jackson straight ahead into plus territory, still on his feet. And that's the power of 6 feet, 230 pounds. Gain of 10. Colin Jackson went for a ride on the back end.
Like the way he runs, Roy. I mean, he is downhill, he is physical, and he is tough to tackle.
On the right side, inside the 45. Short gain, 1 first down. Give him 2, and that'll be it. What Jaden Williams did, running that zone read. 2nd and 7. The dump off is there, and about 3 yards short of a first down.
Good timing, quick release there from Collins.
Third down.
Good to see that come to fruition out here today.
You got to quote him directly as the handoff, Lane bouncing ahead. Should be enough for a first down. He said Ricky Collins has figured out how to utilize his strengths to his advantage. And Dusty, sometimes it's about not doing what you're not capable of doing, especially if you're trying to prove yourself as a number 2 quarterback. First down with Lane back on the field. And flanking Collins. Here's time. Collins goes long. And reaching up, it's incomplete.
Relaford just working over this left tackle over here. He's working on Ethan Callaway. True freshman on true freshman. But I've mentioned him quite a bit here this afternoon. I've been really impressed with the true freshman 19, Relaford, this afternoon. Good hands and consistently getting pressure on the quarterback.
It's Ashton Stampson coverage that time, Dusty, against Sampson. And again, they'll try the same play. It's incomplete. Sampson was available for a moment. The pass sailed high.
Third down.
Markway in motion. For a minute to go in a very fast third quarter. Sidearm delivery, and the pass is caught. That'll move the sticks. Still on his feet and racing ahead is Daniels. C.J. Daniels shows you some strength and some speed in a gain of 21 on the incredible route.
Wait, good adjustment here by C.J. Daniels.
Well, I'm not sure if he pressed the X button or the triangle, but it worked. Stop at the 15 is Jackson.
It's the circle button for a spin move.
Thank you. I didn't know. I stopped playing. I need to pick it back up.
Well, you better start playing. College football is coming back, baby. July. Everybody's highly anticipating that. That was always a great thing about being in college when the new college football would come out. Everybody rushed to go get it so you can see what's my rating, how fast am I, how strong am I. Great pastime for college players that has been gone for a while, but back again here this summer.
Third quarter comes to a close, 27-25, and Brian Kelly. 7 minutes remaining in the fourth when we come back. And Dusty, we are getting ready to see Colin Hurley for the first time. 7 minutes in a running clock, back for the fourth quarter. And Hurley, the talented freshman, on the field. He is a live quarterback, meaning he can be brought down with a tackle for a sack, or if he escapes the pocket, it'll be a 4-yard gain for Pimpton. A tackle by Toviano. 4-star player, Dusty, Colin Hurley.
Yeah, they were really high on him. Said extremely talented. Going to give him the opportunity to be live today. Defenders like that. And obviously Hurley likes that as well. Good pass. Getting the ball out quickly to his big tight end on first down.
Down in 7, up the middle.
All put together, freshman.
Defense has a chance to take the lead with a stop, trailing by 2. Hurley delivers end zone and incomplete, and looking for Sampson. And the defense, Dusty, on the drastic turn of events, takes the lead for the first time at 32-27.
Let's go. In spring on a high note, give themselves a chance here heading into summer.
Hurley back on the field. Straight ahead, nowhere. Does Blake Baker get a trophy of some kind if the defense wins this spring game?
Little crab legs or something, and the other ones have to eat sandwiches.
Problems
like
with
that.
the snap. Pimpton picks it up to the edge. The spin move and out of bounds near the 33.
Pimpton making it look easy out there. He scoops up the ball nice and smooth.
Third down.
Could have been a disaster.
Could have been a glorified jet sweep for number 88. You don't see 6'6", 250 around the edge too often.
Hey, Roy, Coach Kelly just pulled me over and said we put that in for the spring. So a design there by Pimpton with a nice pickup on second down.
3rd and 2.
Unfortunately, Pimpton down on the far sideline, Roy, for the second time today.
You saw him pounding the turf for a moment. He went out for just a second in that first half and then returned quickly. So that was a good sign, but it is hot before he spun down out of bounds. 3rd and 2 and a short pickup to Peterson.
Going fast here. See how the freshman quarterback handles a little tempo.
Colin Hurley delivers deep, has a man, passes caught. Kai Preen. And Preen reaches the end zone. The offense back in front after a 64-yard touchdown strike from Colin Hurley.
Wow, an absolute dime there delivered by the freshman Hurley. A win on the outside, man-to-man coverage. And that ball could not have been placed any better. He had pressure on his face, too, as Relaford once again off the right side right there.
Dropped it in the bucket over Tyson Short and straight to Kai Preen. Didn't play a year ago. Redshirted here in Baton Rouge. The all-important extra point to break the 33-33 all-time.
The kick is up. The kick is good.
And Corbello connects with a PAT. And Dusty, you mentioned it, a perfect dime dropped in. I don't know that Hurley could have been any more accurate than that strike there.
Oh, no, it doesn't get any better. And again, what I love, they went tempo there. There's only 3 minutes left on the clock. You can't throw any better than that. Would you say the quote from Joe Sloan was, he can throw the rock?
He can fire the rock, big dog.
He sure can, as we saw there on that touchdown pass. Well done.
34-33 after the PAT by Corbello. And now the defense needs a couple of TFLs or a turnover or something quick.
I'm going to be intrigued to see. Again, it's a spring game. You don't ever want to have two big, wide sweeping takeaways. But Gabriel Relaford, I think that's a name to remember. I'd say he's flashed to me as much or more than anybody on the defensive side, a true freshman. I've been really impressed here today.
The defense with a stop in the backfield. And crashing in, number 48. And that puts us tied at 34. Maybe one, possibly two more snaps to go. Spring game in and a tie. The answer is yes. A quick strike, and Hurley picks up 5. The spring game nearly in the books. Hurley wants to fire one deep again. As his guy, an incomplete off the fingertips of Willis. And the spring game comes to an end. Tied at 34. Dusty Dvorak, your final thoughts here in Baton Rouge today.